Hi friends! Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Natalie and today I'm going to be stitching with you this cute little pumpkin on this bigger embroidery design. This is a smaller version of this series, and today I'm gonna be stitching with you those sections of the pumpkins, and it's gonna be just a simple stitch, satin stitch, and I will walk you through all the process. So it's a really beginner friendly project. If you want to join this stitch along, check the description in the video below, and I will also leave a link to the video to my previous video from day one, when I walk you through all the materials and preparation that you need to do to start this project. So if you didn't see it yet, check the link in the video description and in the comments below as well. So this is a smaller project that is available as a separate PDF pattern, so you can get it too if this big design looks too scary for you. So you can practice with this one, and if you will like it, you can try the bigger version. And I also made an embroidery kit for this small design, and we already stitched it on my workshop yesterday. I will quickly show you my new kit, and this is a new floss organizer that I made. I really love it. It has enough amount of threads for embroider this little pumpkin, and even more. You can embroider probably 2 pumpkins with those threads, so don't worry. And this is how I organized them, and this is the back side. There is a link to my Substack. It's a newsletter if you want to get updates for my new projects that I will be making in future. So these are the floss, and you also get a needle and the fabric, and this is high quality linen fabric. I really love it. You will also enjoy working with this. I already hooped it in the 5-inch hoop, and this is water erasable stabilizer. It's it's a sticker. You stick it on your fabric, make it to be like in the center, and stitch it. So when you finish, you can wash it away with a warm tap water, so it will disappear. So this is my new kit, and if you want to get this kit will also be available on my Etsy shop. Today I will list it, so make sure to check the description below if you want to get it and try hand embroidery with me. So you guys which are stitching this kit, you can follow this video tutorial and stitch along with me. This is also for you. And I'm starting with those pumpkins here. As you can see, I moved my hoop to the bottom, so I have access to the bottom part, and it's not too close to my hoop, so it will be comfortable for me to stitch. When I will finish the bottom part, I will move it up to this area, and I will be continue stitching the rest of the objects. So you can do it too if you like it, this idea. And here I have 2 layers of fabric. I already talked about it on my last video, and I wrapped my inner hoop in the fabric too for the better fabric tension. So I already explained it in my last video, so let's start stitching. I will use 3 colors for the pumpkin, and those are the colors that I'm gonna be using today. I will start with the lightest color, which is in the center, and I'm gonna use 3 strands of floss right now, but later I will switch to 6 strands of floss. So right now I'm gonna use 3 strands, And I'm gonna make the outline for the central part right here. And I make this outline to make the sharp edges for my satin stitch. If you don't want to do outline, it's okay. If you feel confident for your satin stitch, so go ahead and fill it with satin stitch if you like already know what you are doing. I like to make inner outline because it also gives me opportunity to make this part a little volumetric, you know? It's like pops out to the front. Okay. I will start from the top. You can start where you want. It doesn't really matter right now because I will finish this thread when I'm done with the outline, and I will switch to 6 strands because 6 strands will give me more volumetric effect for this central part. And right now I'm gonna do a split stitch. So I made one stitch here, and I go for the next stitch I made a little distance right here, and I'm splitting it from the top right here. Let me zoom it even more so you could see it. This is the maximum that I can. So I'm splitting it from the top this way, and I do the next stitch and split it from the top. It's like a back stitch, but you don't go into the same hole from your previous stitch. You just split it. You can split it in the middle, you can split it almost close to the end of the stitch. Just do it the way you're more comfortable with. You can also split it from the back side. Like for example, you did the last stitch and I'm trying to split it from the back right here, and I go from the back and do it another way. This is also one more way how you can do it, splitting it from the back. If you feel comfortable doing it this way, and you can split it. I'm not always able to split it where I want. It's a bit harder to go through exactly in that place that I need, like right here. So I often go splitting from the top because it's easier for me to see where exactly I should put my needle, like this way. But when you are splitting from the top, you are wasting a little bit more threads on the back side. So it's just the main difference, and that's it. So you guys just do it wherever you are comfortable. I really enjoyed yesterday's workshop. We did it in Riverview Lions Club, and there was an event for the shelter movers, and we were raising funds for those who live in abusive relationships and they want to move. This non-profit organization helps such people to move, and they also work with shelters and police and everything, so they help people to move in a safe environment. So I was really happy to help them to raise some funds, and it was a really fun workshop yesterday. It's really nice to meet people, like real people, because yeah, most of the time I'm just here alone in my studio talking to myself. Nobody's watching me when I'm stitching, so I feel a little bit lonely. But if you're watching me right now, leave me a comment so I will not feel so lonely. Okay guys, so I'm finishing this circle and I'm just splitting both stitches from the left and from the right, and this is my final stitch for this outline. And also I would also wanted to let you know that I do outline with the same color that I will use for the satin stitch. This outline will stay inside and it shouldn't be visible. You can do it another way. I will explain you now how you can do it. So you can first fill it, this area, with satin stitch, and then you can do outline with, for example, darker color, and as this outline will be visible, it will add some contrast. So this is another way how you can do it. I will park this thread on the right side, so I will use it later. And I'm switching to another needle. Right now I was using smaller needle like this one, and for 6 strands I will switch to a slightly bigger needle. Use the biggest needle that you have in your embroidery set for 6 strands, so you are able to thread this needle, because all 6 strands should go through this small needle eye. I lick my thread, so you can do it the same way, or you can thread your needle with some needle threader. Find yourself some nice needle threader. Okay, I threaded my needle, so what I do now? In my stitching instructions, you will find the page with stitch guidelines. So I draw lines for you, so you know which direction you should go with your satin stitches. In these sections, they should be horizontal, and you can start in the middle. What I'm suggesting, you can start in the middle, and you can lay your thread this way horizontally, and then you can put the needle outside of the border. And here I also came up outside of the border, so when I will be like covering this space, this border will be invisible. It will be inside. It will be a little bit harder to go through the fabric with all 6 strands, especially if you use 2 layers of fabric like I do, or if you use stick and stitch stabilizer, but that's fine. It doesn't stop me and I hope it doesn't stop you too. Okay, so all the time I come up here and put my needle down on this side. Try to not make your thread too tight, so you will not have any wrinkles, and also make sure that your fabric is tight, is really tight in the hoop, so because when you make a lot of stitches in the same direction, it's easy to shrink the fabric this way, and the image, like the picture, will be distorted slightly and like look like this, so we don't want it. We just stretch, just make as tight as it's needed to make your thread laying on the fabric flat, but don't pull it too tight, okay? It's a nice idea if you want to make this section even more volumetric. You can place some piece of felt in this section inside the outline, and it will make like volumetric padding for the satin stitch. So you can go ahead and try that. Right now I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for beginners. Try to not split the outline, because if you will split it, a part of this line will be visible outside of this area, and we don't want it. And you may notice that I didn't pull each thread separately for all 6 strands, because based on my practice, it gives, when you have all 6 strands together in the original shape, it gives a really nice result. So I don't really need it. So you also shouldn't separate your thread, each thread separately, all 6 strands. Just use it as it is, as you have it in your skein. But when you use, for example, 3 strands, 2 strands, or 4 strands, it's better to separate them one by one separately, okay? Okay, so I finished this half, and I move to this part, and I will fill it until I will go down to the bottom. So I'm trying to make each stitch close to each other, and if it's hard for you, you just come up really close, close to your previous stitch, like on the left. Place your thread this way, so that you know where you need to place your next thread, next stitch. It should be easy for you to embroider satin stitch if it's horizontal. And the biggest role in this project is fabric. Is a high quality and the right fabric that you use, because I've seen people using stretching fabric, like piece of t-shirt or anything else, and this fabric is stretching, and you're not able actually to make this fabric really tight in the hoop. So I don't really recommend to use such fabric. Use 100% cotton fabric, which is not stretching, or linen, or some cotton and linen, or and linen blend. And because yeah, when you will be stitching, you will see that your pattern is distorted when you add more and more stitches, and it will be really problematic to stitch on such fabrics. So yeah, this it's like paper for watercolor. If you don't use the right paper for the watercolor, the paper will be juggling, you know, changing the shape and leaking and everything. All of that is gonna be it's gonna be a real mess. So I finished this section and I'm switching to the next color, as a darker color. So I just used 3825 and I'm switching to 722, and I'm gonna be doing outline again for the next section. Let's do on the right side. Okay, so I'm switching to 3 strands. And yeah, and also a big problem that people use like some synthetic cheap embroidery threads. So I highly recommend to switch to high quality threads. It's okay if you tried it for the first time, you don't know if you like this kind of craft, and if it's worth investment into high quality embroidery threads. You just don't know it and you're just trying something new, and if you like it, it means, yeah, when you switch to the next project and you want to learn more, want to make a really beautiful project, you want your threads would be laying on the fabric really nice, and it's easier to it's gonna be easier to make embroidery stitches once you use the right threads, because it also wrong threads, it makes problem for you. The ends of this floss can become fluffy, it's gonna be hard to thread the needle, and they usually really bright colors, and you cannot make it your hand embroidery realistic because of that, because they have bright colors. And also cheap synthetic threads, they can, after washing, if you wash it in warm water or hot water especially, they can bleed and the color will bleed into your fabric. Also, if you will try to iron such embroidery threads, they will melt. So it just it's not suitable for any serious project, especially if you want to stitch on your clothing. So that's my recommendation. I have links to my favorite materials where I usually buy it in the video description below, and you can check it out and try something. The great brands for embroidery threads are DMC and Encore, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to find some encore threads in your country, but try to, if you see it, it's encore, it's good. So also there is Madeira. Yeah, but mostly DMC. DMC is available in each country in the world. I guess they are very popular, and yeah, it worth the price. You can continue stitching with all 6 strands for satin stitch for all the rest sections, or you can if you have enough thread for this section, those sections are quite smaller and they like on the back side, so you can continue stitching with 3 strands if you want. You can fill everything with 3 strands, or you will switch to 6 strands like I do. And for this section you can take a look at my instructions and you will see that the stitch direction is slightly different. It will go like this because it depends on the shape of the pumpkin, and try to stick to this direction, but it's okay if you will do like completely horizontally, it's gonna also look nice. And what I recommend you right now to come up from the bottom, from the back to the front on this side, and put your needle down on this side. You may notice that I didn't do any outline for this section on this side because we don't need it. We already have a really sharp edge from the previous object, and that's why I don't do any outline. And also I want to have volume only on this side, and here I don't need any volume for this section because I want to be this part to be the most volumetric, because it's like on the front, you know. Okay. Here is what's happening when you go from the back side to the top. You can accidentally pull up some threads from the back if you have some tails from your where you just started your thread, so it's better to go down in this place. And also if I will be going up in this place, I could accidentally split the stitches and pull some threads from this section up, and it could distort the really nice and flat structure of this section. So I'm trying to leave it as it is, perfectly stitched, and that's why I come up here and go down here. See, it may be hard to go through, but it worth it. 6 strands make it look really volumetric, like 3D pumpkin. And when you change the colors, like this section is lighter, this section is the medium color, and the next sections are going to be the darkest colors, it will create an illusion that this pumpkin is really volumetric. When you will finish stitching this pumpkin, you will notice how cool it looks like. When you will finish, you will see that if it's enough volumetric for you, if you made really perfect edges just like mine, there is no need in any outlining for the contrast. But if you want to outline, if you want to add some contrast, you can try to add it with even darker color, and I will try it and see if I like it. So I will show it to you later when I will finish this pumpkin. Okay, I finished this section and I'm jumping to this section. I also wanted to show you how you can jump and not leaving any long stitches from here to here. I can flip my hoop to the back side and quickly show you how you can jump without any signs of it. So you can go under your stitches right here, and you go with your needle between the stitches and between your fabric until this point where I need to start stitching the next part of this section. So this way you can hide this long jump. As you can see, in this section I didn't do that, so you see a long stitch here. If you want to hide it, you can do it this way. Okay, let's continue filling this part. Be careful where you started with a knot. I slightly move this knot with my finger on the back side, so I don't go through this knot with my needle. If you want to start without knots, I will show you the way how you can do it a little bit later when I start at the next color. If you made a little gap between your stitches, let me show you an example. Like when you made your next stitch a little bit far away from your previous stitch and you have this gap, you can go back, make it and fill it with another stitch that you can make really close between this area, like this. If you need, you can make one more stitch, because I see that there is still a little gap right here, so I make the next stitch right here. As you can see, my stitch direction is changing depending on the shape of this part. So this pumpkin will look really, really realistic. Okay, I just finished for this section and I will leave this thread. I will park it for later, and I will be stitching with another color right now because I want to be able to finish stitching this thread later when I will be stitching this section. Okay, and I'm switching to the darker color 721. This one. And I do all the same. I use 3 strands. And I will do an outline first. You know, this section is on the back side, so I will probably continue stitching with this thread, and I will finish, I will fill the entire area for this satin stitch using those 3 strands. So that's what I do. But outline goes first. For the next tutorial, I will stitch the same pumpkin on my free time, just to show you the difference, how this pumpkin can look with outline using the darker color when you finish all the satin stitch. So you can see the difference, and maybe we can think about outline. To outline it or not. So you can outline it and see if you like it, you can leave it. If you don't like it, you can just remove the outline. Just carefully remove your outline and it's gonna look nice. In hand embroidery, you can do such things. You can choose the way you look, the way it look nice for you. There are different ways how you can stitch this pumpkin, actually. I have another project with pumpkins. It calls Hello Autumn, and for that project I was stitching the pumpkin using stem stitch. I was filling the entire pumpkin using only stem stitch, and I was just switching the colors, and as a result it looks like thread painting. You know this technique, it's a realistic technique called thread painting, and it really looks like thread painting, but it's not, because it's a much easier technique. There is a video tutorial included in that PDF pattern if you want to learn it and try it. It's already on my Etsy shop, and all the autumn embroidery patterns right now, they have 50% discount. Okay, So I just finished the outline, and I will just... You can start stitching, like filling on the bottom if you feel comfortable doing this way. So you can do it. I continue stitching with those 3 strands because I don't need too much volume for this section. It's like on the back side we already did 6 strands for the parts that are going to be on the front, so it's enough. But if you want to switch to 6 strands of floss right here, go ahead and do it. I just don't feel that I need it. Starting from the bottom, it can be a little bit harder to follow the right stitches direction. So if you don't think that you can do it right, start in the middle like I did for those 2 sections, and you will get it right. What do you guys think? Do we need an outline here, or we can leave it just like it is? What would you do for your project? Let me know in the comments below. To outline or not outline? This is the question of the day. See, I accidentally went through the knot on the back side and it pulled the thread a little bit from the front, but you can easily fix it with your needle. Truth be told, when you are stitching with 3 strands comparing to 6 strands, it's a little bit more work to fill this entire area. So this way, maybe a little bit not too fast for you guys. So, okay, I will finish stitching this section and then I will switch to the left side. I will stitch this section with this color and this section with this color, and I will also stitch all the rest sections with this darker color, and I will get back to you when I will finish it all, and I will continue stitching the pumpkin with you, and I will show how to stitch this part, and we will maybe try some outline. We will see how it looks like. If you like it, we will leave it. If we don't like it, it will just stay as is. Okay? Here we go. I stitched the left side and I'm finishing for this little part, and I just remember that I didn't show you how to finish the thread yet, so I will show you now when I will be finishing this color. Let me know how do you like my pumpkin so far. I think it looks pretty nice. Okay, I have a few stitches from this side. And I'm done with this color. So let me show you how I finish my threads. So I flip to the back side. And I go under my previous stitches, right really close to the place where I just finished, and I have a loop like this, and I go through this loop and it creates this little knot that secures our thread. And now I go under my stitches in some direction from this place to hide a little tail that I will have. Instead of leaving it like hanging around like this, I like to cut my thread really close, so this way it's hard to see where you started your thread, where you finished your thread, and this is the best way to finish the thread for me, and I really like this method. So if you like it too, you can go ahead and use it in your work. Okay, so now I will show you how to make this little tail for the pumpkin. And I'm gonna use another color. It's gonna be it's gonna be this one. This one. And I think it's enough, only 3 strands of floss. I separate my threads one by one and I let it to unwind, so they are not going to be twisted. Please read carefully my instructions that I leave in the PDF pattern. I made for you a really clear instructions how to prepare your threads, and there is a link to the articles, so just go ahead and read it. You can start your thread with just a knot like this, and you can also start your thread without knots, and I will show you how. So this space is going to be filled with the stitches, and those teeny stitches, they will be hidden under my stitches. And what I do right now, I do a little running stitch like this. And I split it, and I also can come up from here and split it again, and this way I have my thread secured and there is no knots. Okay, so what I want to do is to outline this shape of this little pumpkin tail, I know how to call it, and I will stitch it with satin stitch. So basically I do it the same way like I did for all the sections for the pumpkin. And there is another way how you can stitch it. You can, I will show you probably on the next tutorial. So you will be able to choose which way you like the most. The second way, it will give you a little bit realistic look of this part. And it just it's gonna be just like an option for you, and you can choose wherever you like. You can go with this simple method like I do right now, or you can go with a little bit more complicated and more realistic method that I will show you later. Okay, so I do outline for one side and for another side. Also I wanted to say that we have like a tail, and this outline can add you some, it can make it wider. If you go outside of the borders and then you will fill it with satin stitch, you may notice that it this outline a little bit enlarged this space. So keep it in mind and make your outline kinda like inside of the area that you want to fill with satin stitch. Does it make sense? Okay, now I want to fill this area and I do it with satin stitch, but this bottom part is a little bit wide. And I do it this way. I make horizontal stitches like this. If you don't feel comfortable stitching after you done this area, you can stitch it first. After you are done with this part and this part, you can stitch this part, and then you can stitch this and this and this and this. So if it's in case if it's hard for you to go through all those threads that you already did on the left and on the right side, you can stitch it first and then fill all the rest that's around this area. So maybe it's gonna be a little bit easier for you. Yeah, in hand embroidery, it's sometimes beginner especially, they ask me from which part should I start from. I don't know. So it is hard to decide if you don't have any experience where to start and where you should finish, which stitch should you choose and everything. So that's why I make my embroidery patterns with instructions and video tutorials for you guys. Okay, so last few stitches here and it's done. So now you can decide if you will leave it like this. If you like the result you get, you can leave it like this and you don't do any additional outline on the top. But if you want to do some outline, I suggest to use some darker color, maybe this one, maybe even darker. I will try this one and I will see if I like it, and I will show you the picture probably in the community tab and on Patreon and Discord, so we can discuss it. And from this we will decide. Okay, it's not necessary to do the outline. Maybe I will leave it like it is because it's nice. So I see that I would add a few stitches right here because it doesn't like a rounded shape. So I would add a few stitches with this darker shade, and it would look as a finished pumpkin. So I will go ahead and quickly do it. Yeah. Oops. Okay. Just a few stitches right here. I see that I really need to add a few stitches. Yes. Now I really like it. Looks nice. Okay. So I will see you next time. I will go live on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Sorry, this time I was trying to go live, but I probably didn't press one more button in this application that I'm learning how to use right now, so I didn't actually go live. But I'm glad that this video was recorded, and I will post it later when I will edit and combine those two parts together, so you will see the entire process. And yeah, sorry, sometimes I do mistakes. I'm just learning this. I will stitch this pumpkin completely the same way like I did for this one, and we will be stitching the leaves around this pumpkin next time. Okay, this is what we are going to be stitching, the pumpkin leaves. Okay, see you next time, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments, leave me your thoughts regarding the outline, regarding the anything you can come up. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. So leave me everything in the comments. I will be reading every comments and I will be answering every comment that I will get. Okay, happy stitching. See you next time. Bye.